Hey guys, welcome to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien. Glad to see you guys make it into the live stream here. I see Trade Intuition is in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate that. Glad to see you made it in here and letting everybody know about smashing that like button. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and what it's done this week. Because we have a weekly candle that's about to close in the next 7.5 hours right now. We got the countdown right here. Bitcoin holding steady. And we have a little bit of an indecision candle here on Bitcoin. We have seen higher prices. We have seen lower prices. But we're pretty much about to finish the week. Basically where we started off at. Slightly down here on the price of Bitcoin. And I see Porky's in the chat too. Oh man, you guys are making it in early on the stream here. I've got a couple of YouTubers on the live stream for my YouTube live stream. And for my TikTok guys, we do have some live streamers here. I do TikTok and I also do YouTube as well. And looks like we got some people here that are interested in talking about Bitcoin and crypto. So let's get into it. All right, so we have the price of Bitcoin currently at $105,400. And I did identify some buy zones here that we should be thinking about buying Bitcoin. Anywhere between $102,000 to $105,000, and if we did lose those levels, then we were looking to buy some Bitcoin at lower levels between $93,000 and $97,000. So far, we've dipped into this purple buy zone. Let me go into the daily chart so you can see how that plays out on the daily time frame. And you can see that we did have some sideways trading price action, which is why I identified these zones here as these purple buy zones, as you should be buying Bitcoin when you get Bitcoin at these lower levels here. And you can see that the buyers have stepped in to buy Bitcoin whenever they get down to these lower prices here. You can see that we had a candlewick low here on Friday, June 13th, when news came out about Israel attacking Iran. Okay. Even though that was a shocking news headline for a lot of people, the Bitcoin bulls, they came in and they pushed the price up. We did get as low as about 102,746, and we got pushed right back up. That was almost like a hammer candle, a reversal candle. But the following day, which was yesterday on Saturday, June 14th, we did have a red candle here. So that is pretty much creating the indecision here. We don't know if this is a buy the news buying opportunity here, but Bitcoin bulls have treated this as a buying opportunity so far. We are remaining above $105,000. I believe if you're confused as to whether you should be buying or selling Bitcoin right now, just remember that we have identified these purple buy zone as a possible zone for you to be buying some cheaper Bitcoin, because if things start to blow over, I don't want to sound disenfranchising to the people in the Middle East, but if this is just a short crisis in the Middle East, then this is going to end up being just a buy the dip opportunity here for Bitcoin. Let me go ahead and turn the moving averages on now. You can see that Bitcoin is still on the daily time frame. We're still well above the 200-day moving average, sitting below us at $95,000 Bitcoin. We also have the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average also at around $94,000, $95,000. So that's one reason why I also had this other purple buy zone here as a possible area where we could buy some cheaper Bitcoin. If for some reason things get really bad out there and the markets want to treat this as a selling opportunity to bring the price of Bitcoin down, I do believe we will still get some support at the $92,000 to $97,000 Bitcoin area, because we have the moving averages. There are other traders and investors and professional traders out there around the world that are looking at the moving averages, and they're going to treat that as support initially. If we do come down, that should be a reaction zone where we should be able to see Bitcoin get some support at that area. We also have some sideways trading action at this area between 92,000 and 97,000, where Bitcoin was trading at that area around late April going into the first week of May. So anybody that bought Bitcoin towards the end of April and the beginning of May, they're still in profit right now. If Bitcoin comes down to this level here at $94,000 Bitcoin, they're just going to be at break even. They're not going to really panic until we go below $92,000 Bitcoin, and then they might start clicking that sell button, okay? But we still have some support at this area if we do come down. So I'm giving you guys the target prices. If we do come down into like the $90,000 area, there should be some support there. But right now, it seems like support is holding strong. The bulls won't let Bitcoin go below $100,000 because look, we came down here on June 5th. We did flirt with going below $100,000, but we didn't actually go down below $100,000. Now maybe there might be some other cryptocurrency exchanges that showed Bitcoin going below $100,000, but at least here on Coinbase Exchange on June 5th here, we only came down to 100,377 and it got bought up. We actually closed that daily candle at 101,570, and we're holding strong. We're holding strong so far. And if I go ahead and I turn on the VRVP now, okay, you'll see that there are some high volume nodes here that are also giving us that support. We have currently the value area high is sitting at $103,000 Bitcoin, okay? That's why you might have seen $103,000 Bitcoin earlier this week, and we got bought up real quick, okay? We got a lot of volume here. We have to break through 103, and I would say also about $101,000 Bitcoin before we can go down to lower levels here and actually see, you know, Bitcoin below 100 grand, okay? But if we do come to Bitcoin below 100 grand, right, then we do have a little bit of volume here at like $97,000, which is the top of this purple buy zone area. And then we also have some more volume at 95,000 and 93,000, 94,000. So anywhere between this area, 93 and 95. Very strong support for Bitcoin, at least according to the volume here on the VRVP. My this little green and red indicator for those who are new to you know, this trading indicator that I use here. But yeah, I think Bitcoin is holding steady, holding strong, even though we have some concerning news events in the Middle East. And I'm here to talk about what you guys might think might happen next with Bitcoin and crypto. I just wanted to give you guys my analysis there on Bitcoin. It is a little bit of an indecision candle. We were looking very positive last week with the last weekly candle closing with a hammer candle. Let me just go ahead and show that real quick here. So this is the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. We had a strong, very strong hammer candle here that will look like it was going to send us up to higher prices here. But we did not get that follow through this week. Was looking pretty solid for Bitcoin in the beginning of the week, and then we got the bad news here on Thursday and Friday about what was going on in the Middle East. So that is creating this indecision for Bitcoin right now, at least on the weekly time frame. All right. Trade Intuition says that the best time to buy Bitcoin was yesterday. The next best buy time is today. Buy and hold. Yeah, that seems to be the case. You know, I actually talked to somebody yesterday who was asking me about, he's like, oh, you're into crypto? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, oh, what's the best crypto to get into? What's the best crypto to double your money? And I said, Bitcoin. And he kind of laughed. He's been in crypto as well. But I said to him, well, just think about it. What was the price of Bitcoin last year, around this time last year? And he's like, oh, I think like 55, 65. And I said, all right, well, what's the price of Bitcoin right now? $105,000. You basically doubled your money if you stayed with Bitcoin. So, yeah, Bitcoin does seem to go up. And it doubles in value, even though it seems like it takes forever to do it. It is still one of the strongest cryptocurrencies out there. Other cryptocurrencies, they have their time where they're able to outperform Bitcoin, but it seems like these other cryptocurrencies out there, they're not able to outperform Bitcoin over the long term. Bitcoin continues going up. These other cryptos are having a hard time just getting back to their all-time highs again. So yeah, I would say stick with Bitcoin. MMA Squire says great stuff. Thank you. Yep, you're welcome. And then John316 is giving me those blessings. I appreciate that. And he says smash that like button as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. Let's see if we get the likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now, guys. And John saying that you're at work driving a truck, listening to the to the music. And yeah, yep. I'm glad you're enjoying the music here in the live stream. Crypto Junkie says something here about XRP will put Bitcoin to shame after regulation. I mean, that would be nice. I have a little bit of a position in XRP as well. I think XRP could double in price from where it is right now. But yeah, you would need to see some good news start coming out about regulation and stuff like that. I think there's supposed to be an XRP ETF coming out maybe later on this summer, later on this year as well. And I think Solana is also supposed to be having an ETF as well. So that's going to help pour more money into those cryptocurrencies. Let's see, after BTC mining is done, no more 4-year cycles either. That's interesting. I'm not sure. I can't really predict the future and whether that's going to be the case. But it seems, I do believe that the cycles, they will start to change. Maybe it ends up becoming a 5-year cycle or a 10-year cycle. But it seems like the 4-year cycle still holds true to this day. So we're just going to stick with a 4-year cycle for those who like to follow the cycles. Crypto Junkie says Bitcoin can never be updated to compete with new tech because there's no company behind it. Actually, Bitcoin can be updated. It has the opportunity to be updated. It's just that they have to get everybody on board to come to a consensus to update the code. Bitcoin is updatable, so that's not actually true what you just said there. Bitcoin can be updated. All right, they're actually trying to build ordinals on Bitcoin. You should look that up. So Bitcoin can do what these other cryptocurrencies are able to do, and they also have the Lightning Network that's making Bitcoin even faster than what it is currently right now. So yeah, Bitcoin can still be updated. Don't fall into that trap. I don't know who told you that, but it is still updatable. It's programming code, so it can be programmed to be faster, or programmed to be yeah, basically faster at this point. And they can also do some other things on there. They're trying to do NFTs on Bitcoin, so you should look that up as well. All right. I guess Crypto Junkie wants to go look at XRP right now. I guess we could take a look at XRP. Trade Intuition is saying that very true. Bitcoin is the turtle, and the altcoins are the rabbit. And this crypto race still holding some alts from last year, and they are still down. Your mistake was not buying more Bitcoin. Lesson learned. And then let's see, John316 saying CRO has ETF submission as well. That's interesting. That's news to me. All right, yeah, let's take a look at XRP, since we keep talking about that here on the live stream on my TikTok. All right, XRP currently trading at $2.16. We're on the weekly time frame for XRP. I do have previous Fibonacci analysis that shows where XRP could possibly go down to or go up to if it decides to become bullish here. Just looking at this previous Fibonacci analysis, it looks like we have already hit the 0.5 Fib retracement level. We actually came down to the 0.382 retracement level here back in April, where we saw XRP as low as $1.61. Okay, so those Fib retracement levels have been hit. What I don't like about XRP is that we are creating lower highs, and it seems like we're just continuing to make lower highs here. And if we're making lower highs, that eventually we're going to start going to this retracement level here at $1.21, the 0.236 retracement level. So that's a little bit concerning to see that XRP is not able to make higher highs yet. Okay, some might say that it's being suppressed. Okay, I just think that XRP investors who've been invested in XRP for a while, they're starting to take profit right now. If they haven't already, I know a girl that had XRP. I told her about XRP at $3 back in January, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's that high?" she totally forgot about XRP. She didn't even know that XRP was trading at like $2, $3 until I mentioned it to her. And the sad part is that she actually forgot her password to her account. Now, I hope that she was able to figure it out, how to get back into her account again, so she can do something with her XRP. But I think she is planning on selling her XRP at these prices because she already quadrupled her money, as well as a lot of other XRP investors. So that's why you're getting a little bit of a selling pressure action going on XRP. Once these old XRP investors are done selling their XRP, then we do have a 1618 that says that XRP could get up to $5.21 if you want to hold on, for the ride up to higher prices here. We are hearing talks about an XRP ETF, so maybe that's what pushes us up to $5 here on XRP. Just keep in mind that XRP is a high market cap crypto. It takes a lot of money to move XRP up to higher prices here. And I think one of the reasons why XRP was able to get that big move here back in November is because the regulation and the environment for crypto was starting to become better as far as regulations wise. They were getting a new change in the SEC. SEC commissioner retired and got replaced with, I believe, Paul Atkins is the new SEC commissioner. So, and then the lawsuit with XRP was also coming to an end as well. So that's the reason why people got initially excited about XRP and bid the price up from like 50 cents up to like $3 here. But some of that optimism is starting to wane right now, and we're getting people who totally forgot they even own XRP are now selling their XRP, and that's the reason why we're still here at $2.16 for XRP. But I think once we get that ETF going here for XRP, we should see higher prices for XRP. Let me go ahead and go into the daily time frame. Daily time frame for XRP, we got the moving averages now. XRP was holding strong initially going into like January and February, where it was above its 200-day moving average, this red line here. But now we're below the 200-day moving average, so that leads me to be a little bit worried about XRP. Is like, all right, do we have to go down to lower prices just to get people excited about XRP all over again? We might have to revisit $1.60 on XRP just to get people excited about XRP. So far, I do see that XRP Army, right? They like to buy XRP when it goes down to like $2, okay? Looks like right here on Thursday, June 5th, we came down to $2.06, but then we closed at $2.09. Right here on Friday the 13th, we came down as low as $2.08, and then we closed at $2.14. So XRP Army is not letting XRP go down below $2. So that's the very interesting thing about XRP here. So I gave you guys a low target here, XRP. I still think XRP could come down to $1.60 if we continue getting bad news in cryptocurrency and world events here. It could send the price of XRP down to lower prices. If we don't get that ETF within a reasonable time frame here, we could also see XRP come down to $1.60. But I also believe we can go to higher prices here in XRP. But XRP has to get above these moving averages now. Right now, that 100-day and 200-day is sitting at $2.38. So that would be the first target for XRP to get above, for us to start being a little bit more bullish on XRP. And then we got to get above this previous high, because we've been making lower highs, okay, ever since January here on XRP. So get above this high, and then I can get more excited. You know, we got to see XRP get above $2.65 here. Okay, get above $2.65, then we can start talking about being bullish on XRP again. Let's see, you crypto junkie over here talking about after regulation, utility coins will lead the market. No more for Bitcoin. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You're very active here on the TikTok. I appreciate you with all your comments here. Bitstamp is putting the derivatives market on the XRP this year, along with 17 ETFs. That's interesting. But a lot of the money is in the United States, so We need United States cryptocurrency exchanges, and we need the stock market bros to start pouring their money into crypto to actually push these cryptocurrencies to higher prices here. And that's going to help if we can get an ETF here in the United States, not just somewhere in Asia or Canada. We got to actually have a United States ETF where United States investors, with all the money that they got, the trillions of dollars that they have, start pouring that money into cryptocurrency. Okay? And we need a spot ETF, not a futures ETF. John's asking me about my thoughts on ZBCN. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Appreciate that request. You're thinking about opening up a position in ZBCN? All right. And then Trade Intuitions here saying XRP to $500 all the videos. All you know is bacon will be very high, because if we live to see the year 3057, XRP will be $500. Only happen when pigs fly, bacon will be high. And then Porky thinks XRP is going down to 58 cents. He's still holding on to that target. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I think that's enough about XRP. Let's go ahead and look at ZBCN from my buddy John here. Yeah, I think we'll look at that now. Alright, so ZBCN, ZBEC network, currently trading at 0.004 pennies. Up slightly today, 0.24%. Looking at the daily time frame here, I have done previous chart work on ZBCN. Looks like ZBCN topped out here in the beginning of June at like almost 0.007 pennies. Also here on May 30th at 0.0071 pennies. So let me just I got previous Fibonacci analysis not working. I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this for now. All right, we'll start off fresh here. All right, so looking at the ZBEC network, this thing is cooling down. Let me go ahead and turn the oscillators here. You'll see that the ZBEC has been overheated and overbought here in May, and that raised the alarms here that we're getting some bearish divergence. Right, we got lower highs here on the RSI after being very overbought. Okay, and you know, it did the next best thing. It could have went down. I mean, it did go down in price, but now it's doing the next best thing, which is just going sideways after having that bearish divergence here. Okay, so with that being said, we have the RSI now of like 49 on ZBEC. So okay, it's in neutral territory on the RSI. And then the MACD is showing that there was selling pressure in the beginning of June here. But the selling pressure is starting to die off a little bit. We're getting some pink candles instead of like dark red candles. So that leads me to believe that we could be bottoming out here. Maybe this will be the higher low that we're looking for on ZBEC. And stochastic RSI is low. So yeah, I would say I would start nibbling on this. If you feel compelled to do so and you haven't done so already, you could start putting in a small position on ZBEC. And just, you know, if you really want to protect your position, you just put the stop loss right below these candle wicks here. Candle wicks looks like we came as low as 0.0037 pennies. So maybe put the stop loss, if you want to keep it tight, put it at 0.0036 pennies. Okay. And I think you'll be all right. Just keep in mind that, you know, this thing could come down. You might get stopped out, and then you got to make the decision. Do you want to get back in? Or could you get back in at a lower price? Okay, you would have to probably zoom in onto the 1 hour time frame to see if to see what the oscillators are doing, if you want to get back in, or if you want to wait and see if you can get a lower price on ZBEC. Let's see what the 1 hour time frame is looking right now. 1 hour time frame on ZBEC. I do see some higher lows being created already on the 1 hour time frame. Looks like you kind of got your lowest price here on Wednesday at 0.00371 pennies. RSI looks like it's also creating higher lows here. Okay, so it looks like this would be a bottom position here for ZBEC. Let's look at the MACD real quick. Now, if you're trying to buy some ZBEC today, I mean, you could pay attention to the MACD in the 1 hour time frame. Looks like the buying pressure has died down a little bit. You are getting a little bit of selling pressure, so maybe in the next few hours here, you could get cheaper prices on ZBEC if you want to start your position today. It's looking like the next couple hours, you could get cheaper prices here. Looking at stochastic RSI. Stochastic RSI is starting to go down. You might see stochastic RSI go a little bit lower if we continue getting some more selling pressure here. And then looking at market cipher B, let me go ahead and zoom in on that. Okay, you did get a red dot here on at 9 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock East Coast time, saying that ZBEC is facing a little bit of a downdraft, a little bit of selling pressure here. So maybe now might be the time maybe to be actually thinking about buying that ZBEC right now. Either now or later. I would probably also pay attention to this MACD here. See if you get another red candle here. See if you get some lower prices. Last on the 1 hour time frame here, the last higher low was right here at 0.0394 pennies. So maybe you can get it below 0.004 here. Okay. See if you get filled at 0.0039 on ZBEC. Rob Side wants me to look at Arrow. Okay, we can take a look at Arrow. And trade, was that were you making a request for bacon? Was that a cryptocurrency request there? I'm not sure. I don't know if you were just mentioning it or if you actually want me to actually look into it. Let's see, and then let's see what my my TikTok guys are saying here. I'm currently doing a stream on TikTok and YouTube, guys, so I gotta look at both chats here. Crypto Junkie is still talking about XRP over here. Tokenization will take XRP to numbers that most people laugh at. Okay, so it sounds like you're an XRP bro over there. And JMac is talking about Arrow IOP'd? Just IOP'd? You mean IPO'd? IPO is stock market stuff. I don't think Arrow actually. I don't think Arrow actually IPO'd. That's news to me. I was looking for news about Aerodrome Finance because I actually own some, but then I pretty much sold it all on Friday because this thing was going up while the rest of the market was going down. Let's go ahead and take a look at Aerodrome Finance so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. I mean, it's nice to see that Aerodrome is making money for some people here, and it made some money for me as well. I had to sell first and ask questions later because I was like, why is this thing going up? Is this thing going to then go down with the rest of the market? But anyways, looking at Aerodrome Finance, we're at 73 cents here for Aerodrome, up 3.8%. So Aerodrome is still having a good day, a good weekend here. Oh, you're talking about Aero stock. Yeah, we're talking about Aerodrome Finance because somebody just made a request about that. I never heard of Aero stock. Is that a request? Do you want me to look at Aero stock? Because I can look at it. And yeah. All right. Yeah, let's finish up this analysis here on Aerodrome Finance. So Aerodrome Finance, what has Aerodrome done? We're looking at the daily time frame here for Aerodrome. Let me go ahead and get rid of the oscillators for now. Aerodrome Finance has seen better prices, obviously, back here during the altcoin season that we had in December of 2024. This thing was trading at like $2.33. We have some moving average data showing us that Aerodrome Finance was below most of the moving averages here, but now it's starting to get above the 100-day and it's above the 50-day. So now it could possibly use these moving averages as support as these moving averages start curving back up to the upside. If Aerodrome continues being bullish here, it probably will face some resistance from this 200-day moving average, this red line here, sitting at about 88, 89 cents right now. So maybe there might be another 10-cent move, maybe 10 or 15 cents of upside here on Aerodrome. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of traders and investors all around the world are looking at that 200-day moving average, and they're probably putting their sell orders in at that area, 88, 89 cents right now. Now I actually was eyeballing this 100-day moving average, which is sitting at 65 cents. That's actually where I sold my aerodrome on Friday, because I was like, I don't know what the hell this thing is doing, but it's going up while World War III is starting, and it didn't make sense to me, and I was like, let me just sell, and then I'll figure this thing out later. I could always get back in. I'm only like missing an 8-cent move up on price. You know, I sold at 65 cents. I can get back in at 73 cents, and that's not really that big of a hit on you know, trying to buy back in again, right? But let's take a look at the oscillators first before we figure out, you know, is it a good time to buy, or could we wait a little bit to see how things go here? Okay, RSI on Aerodrome Finance is at 62, so this thing is not even overbought yet. So this thing could continue up to that 200-day moving average before it actually gets overbought. Now here on Friday, June 13th, it was close to being overbought. It was at 68 on the RSI. Okay, so understandably, you can understand why I decided to pull the trigger. You know, the trick about investing is that you want to sell before everybody else starts selling. So maybe I might have sold a little bit too early, okay, but I still made profits. Okay, but there's no guarantee that we can't just come right back down to lower prices here on Aerodrome. Okay, MACD is showing that there is some strong buying pressure here on Aerodrome. Okay. If you start seeing a light green candle showing up on the daily time frame here, then that signifies that buying pressure is starting to die down, and that probably means we might go sideways, maybe even go down before we maybe possibly go into the red here on the MACD. Now, if you start seeing red on the MACD, then you know you're probably getting yourself maybe a higher low on the price here. But I mean, this is all hypothetically speaking. We'll see what happens as the data comes in. Stochastic RSI is relatively high, so yeah, I mean, should you be considering selling your Aerodrome Finance? If you have some, I mean, you probably will be selling near the highs of this move here. But the thing about the stochastic RSI is that the stochastic RSI, it can stay high. Like, look back here in like the middle of April here, where we had a high stochastic RSI at like 94. But then all throughout the middle of April, going towards the end of April, the stochastic RSI stayed high. And the price of Aerodrome just continued going up to higher prices because of that. So just because the stochastic RSI is high doesn't mean, you know, it can't continue going to higher prices, because it could stay high and we could continue going to higher prices on the stochastics. Alright, so now moving on to Market Cipher B. You did have a green buy dot saying that you should have been buying Aerodrome Finance on Sunday, last Sunday, about a week ago, and you would have been the benefactor of this move that we've had for the week of the second week here of June. Now let me go to the weekly time frame here real quick here. We're up 44% on Aerodrome Finance. Wow. Okay, so Aerodrome Finance is doing very well this week. Okay. So yeah, you know, Market Cipher B kind of helps you figure out when's a good time to buy. Now, you know, you can't just trade on one indicator, because look, we had a green buy dot here on June 4th, and then it immediately, I think the next day, we had a red dot on June 5th. Okay, so the red dot, the sell signal, could come literally after the buy signal comes in on Market Cipher B. So you can't just rely on one indicator here. Okay, but we do have a green dot that came in last Sunday on Aerodrome Finance. The next dot that comes after the green dot will be a red dot. We're just waiting for that red dot. So when that red dot actually comes in, and you see that on the daily time frame on Market Cipher B, I wouldn't hesitate to click that sell button, because it probably means there are other indicators out there that are showing that, you know, money is starting to exit out of Aerodrome. There might be some overbought action going on with Aerodrome at that point. And when you see that red dot show up on Market Cipher B, it usually means it's a good time to click that sell button. Okay, you don't have to sell everything, and I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I can never be a financial advisor because I'm not certified to be a financial advisor. But when you see that red dot, I know for myself, if I see a red dot on a daily time frame and I'm already thinking about selling this crypto, I'm gonna sell something. Maybe not everything, but I'm gonna sell some of that asset. Okay, so like I said, I think I might have clicked the sell button too early, only because I didn't know what was going on with this whole, you know, Middle East situation. But I think I could actually get back in and I could ride this thing back up to 88, 89 cents if I wanted to. Squeeze out some more juice out of this crypto. And then when I see that red dot come up on Market Cipher B, I can click the sell button. Now the problem with the Market Cipher B thing is that the red dot kind of shows up, but like sometimes it's pretty freaking obvious because you'll get like a really big red candle that will signify that, yeah, you should have been selling. And sometimes Market Cipher B can be a little bit late to the game here when it tells you to sell. Like, let's see. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of these indicators here so I can just clean this up here so you guys can see. We'll just focus on Market Cipher B here. Right, so here we go. We had a red dot here on Tuesday, May 13th. All right, Tuesday, May 13th. You had a red dot, but like you would have missed out on selling the top here because the top was actually May 9th. Okay. It was only after we had a little bit of, we had a green day, then a red day, and then another red day, and then this thing said, all right, you should probably be selling your Aerodrome Finance, okay? So sometimes the red dot does show up late. It doesn't really predict the exact top for these assets here, okay? That red dot showed up on May 13th, but the top was actually May 9th, okay? So it doesn't really predict the top, but it does kind of predict, like, that there's going to be some more selling pressure and lower prices after the red dot comes in. So like the red dot came in on May 13th, right? But we did have another red day the day after that, another red day, and you know, we had some green days, but then we had some more red days. And it wasn't until like June 4th that I said, okay, I think now's a good time to buy. And it was a good time to buy around that point. So, you know, it just lets you know, like, when you see the red dot comes in, you're probably going to get some red days following after that red dot. Okay? And with the green dot, you're probably going to see some green days. You're going to see some green candles showing up on your chart here. So, still useful if you know how to use it. Trade Intuition saying bacon was referring to pigs flying. Bacon will be very expensive due to increased difficulty of catching pigs. You're funny. You're funny. Guys, let me show you guys real quick here. Trade Intuition's YouTube. He's another YouTuber, and he does videos about crypto as well. He's got a good following. He goes live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, and then Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. So you probably catch him. He'll probably go live after I'm done streaming here, or maybe like a little bit later. But you could catch him on the weekends at like 4 p.m. here, and he does some tutorial videos about how to trade, and he does live streams as well, just like me. YouTube Shorts. So if you don't got that much time, you can just watch some of his 1 minute. I believe it's like almost like some of them are like 2-minute videos. And yeah, he's also got some good music to listen to as well. Might want to check him out. And then I have another YouTuber that's in the chat. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but we got this other YouTuber, Porky Flounder. Let me see. Yep. Okay. Porky Flounder 65. If I click on him, he's also got a good following as well on YouTube. He goes live around nighttime hours. He's a California guy, West Coast guy. So you could, if you're a West Coast streamer, he's right on. He'll be streaming at nights for you. I'm an East Coast guy myself, so I usually see him go live around like 10 p.m. East Coast time. But yeah, I think at West Coast time he starts around like 8 o'clock his Pacific time, and he's also going live and he does videos. He's been doing some videos recently about Dogecoin, Shiba, and Pepe, some meme coins there. talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he's got his YouTube shorts as well. All right, and then, oh yeah, Happy Father's Day, Porky. I almost forgot. It's Father's Day, and yeah, Happy Father's Day to you and your kids. You know, hope you're enjoying your weekend, your Sunday here. All right, and then guys, you gotta check out my Meet Damien Discord. I have a Discord channel. I put in the chat in the beginning here. But yeah, guys, if you want to stay in touch and know when I'm going to go live, I usually tell people when I'm going live here on the Meet Damien Discord. It's a free Discord for you to join. And yeah, you know, I share some memes here, but also I'm also sharing when I go live as well in my videos here. But yeah, you guys should come join the Meet Damien Discord. I'll go ahead and put that link here one more time. Yeah, let's see. So you guys have that in the chat. Let's see. Let's go back here. Go ahead and click that link so you can come join the Meet Damien Discord here. And for my TikTok guys, I mean, you could just look up Meet Damien. You're gonna have to maybe message me, and I can send you the Discord link here. All right. I'm not sure how I'm able to put that in the TikTok live stream here, but yeah, go ahead and check out. You can check me out on Meet Damien Discord. All right, we have a request here from Shafi. You want me to check out Unici? Okay, I can go ahead and try to do that. Is that a stock or a crypto? And J-Mac, did you want me to look at Aero stock? Yeah, I'll go take a look at that because you mentioned it. So we just looked at Aerodrome Finance, but apparently there's an Aero stock. All right, it's on the NASDAQ. This is very interesting and weird price action to me. This thing is trading at currently $24, down 40% on Friday. This aerospace and defense stock. All right, so maybe that explains the craziness that we're seeing right now. I don't know what to do with this crazy ass price action here. This thing seems like it's gapping up, gapping down all over the place. Let's see if I can get these candles to connect themselves. If I look at the weekly chart, I mean, there's still some gaps on the weekly chart. And if I look at the monthly chart, okay, monthly chart starts to make a little bit more sense, but this thing is just very, very crazy, very weird. Very weird price action, in my opinion. This is like almost like something out of cryptocurrency world here, but this is supposed to be a stock. So I'm gonna assume that this is a stock that's a low market cap stock, and it doesn't have that much trading going on. It doesn't really have that much liquidity if it's gapping up and gapping down every day. Let's see, market cap is like $600 million, a little bit under $600 million for this stock here. That's interesting. Look at the monthly time frame. This thing did top out here. It looks like it topped out May of 2021, June of 2021. What the hell? Did this thing get delisted? All right, so no wonder this thing doesn't make sense. So this thing looks like it got delisted. It was trading back in 2021, and it stopped trading in August of 2021, and now it started trading again here in June of 2025. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. I can't really make a good analysis on this thing because this thing looks like it got delisted and it got relisted on the NASDAQ here. I'm just gonna stay away from this thing. I mean, I could probably look at the 1 hour time frame, see what it's done on the 1 hour. Yeah, I really can't make any sense of this stock, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. But let's go ahead and take a look at this other one here for my buddy Shafi wants me to look at Unici. Did I spell that right? Did you misspell it? Are you looking for Uniswap? Because you typed it in as UniSea, SEA, and I'm wondering if that's a typo. Because I don't see anything here called UniSea here. I'm guessing you meant to say Uniswap. We'll take a look at Uniswap. Uniswap is currently trading at $7.14 right now, down 2% today. Let's see what Uniswap is doing right now. Uniswap is below its 200-day moving average. That should be your upside target. If this thing does continue to go to higher prices, that 200-day moving average is sitting at $9.19. It is making higher lows and higher highs, so that's good to see. RSI, you were a little bit overbought this past Tuesday here, but now you're not overbought anymore. And then let's see, MACD buying pressure is starting to die down. Be careful, because if you start seeing red candles, that means you're probably going to see lower prices here on your Uniswap. But if this thing does go down to lower prices, I think the 21 EMA could act as support at $6.77. Trying to see if there's any confluence with that. I see some candlewick tops and bodies closes at 685, so I think 685 is probably going to be your downside target here. It'd be better if I did a Fibonacci analysis on Uniswap here. Let's see if we get any confluence with a Fibonacci analysis on this. So Fibonacci saying 0.5 retracements at 675. So I think 675 or 685 should be a good area to start scooping up some Uniswap if you want to buy some at lower prices here. Looks like you're already sitting at the 0.618 retracement. So maybe this 0.618 retracement acts as support. Looks like you already came down to that 0.5 retracement. 679. Yeah, you already did your 0.5 retracement here on Friday. And maybe you come and revisit the 0.5 retracement again. But right now you're kind of holding at that 0.618 retracement for today. You could probably, I would say this is your area that you want to be buying, anywhere between 675 and 720 on Uniswap. And then you're just looking to see if this thing can push up to higher prices once more. You got the 200-day sitting above you at $9.19. And then you got a 1618 that says this thing could possibly go up to $11. And those are your downside upside targets on Uniswap. Alright, let's see. YH. Yeah, I don't know what YH means, Shafi. Alright. Guys, if you're new to the channel, consider clicking that follow button for my TikTok guys and clicking that subscribe button if you're a YouTuber. And you could come see me go live and analyze these charts for you in these cryptocurrencies. Using this technical analysis to kind of figure out where the prices might go next. I try to give you guys the downside targets, and I try to give you guys the upside targets. So if you're bearish and you're looking to buy at lower prices, I try to find those lower price targets for you. And if you're bullish, I can figure out where the next upside price targets might be for these assets here. All right. So we're kind of getting dry. We're getting dry on the requests here. Let's see. I guess I'll look at some cryptos that I want to look at. We'll take a look at Solana. See how Solana's doing over here. Ooh. When I first looked at Solana earlier today, it was at 150 bucks. Looks like Solana's catching some bids right now. Solana's at $151.98, up 5% today. I do have some previous chart analysis here. Let me just zoom in here. So, looks like just using my previous Fibonacci analysis that shows, you know, where Solana did get as low as 95 bucks here back in April, right? That's where I'm getting these fib numbers from. And I measured to the high that it made here at 184, 185 bucks. And it gives me this Fibonacci. Let me get rid of this one here real quick. Get rid of that. Clean things up here a little bit. So it looks like we came down to we came down to the 0.5 retracement on Solana. And we're currently hovering near the 0.618 retracement at 150 bucks. So we're near the golden pocket where you should be considering buying some Solana at this level here. Okay. We have the 50-day moving average is also acting as support. This green line is sitting at $145. So $145 Solana is getting defended by the bulls. We have lost it a little bit sometimes here, only to then close right on it. Okay. So we have seen $141 Solana on Thursday. I think that happened during, no, this was 2 weeks ago. But then, yeah, this Friday the 13th, oh my God. Well, we saw Solana get down to $140.89. But looks like the selling pressure is dying down on the MACD here. And I think these might be the lows for Solana. And this is kind of almost like a double bottom here for Solana on the daily time frame. And the cool thing about double bottoms, let me go ahead and just clean things up here a little bit. I even get rid of this Fibonacci analysis. I can always do it again later. But the cool thing about double bottom, once you identify that you had a double bottom, so a double bottom is like the candle wicks, right? Well, the bottoms have to be within 1 to 3% away from each other. So right now we got a bottom here at $140.89, and we have another bottom here at $141.53. That's within 1 to 3% of each other. So you can clearly identify this as a double bottom. And then what you do here for the measured move on the double bottom is you just measure from where the bottoms are at, okay, to the top in between the two bottoms. Looks like Solana got up to like 163.38. Okay, so you just measure right there. Let me just get rid of that previous line there. And then you just take this measure move, you put on top of the top in between the two bottoms, okay? So you got your left butt cheek and your right butt cheek right there. It's gotta make a joke. You got your bottoms, right? And then you put this on top. You put that measure move on top, right? In between the two bottoms. And it gives you the measure move. And it's saying that we could see $189 Solana. That blue number right there. For your double bottom measure move. And that puts you like right where, you know, it's gonna put you right competing against the last high that we made here at $187 Solana on May 23rd. So that makes sense, right? We could end up revisiting the highs here for Solana after putting in this double bottom here that I'm currently seeing on the charts for Solana. Haven Peck is in here. Okay. Solana AI agents. All right, let's go. Sounds good to me. And then Trade Intuition is asking me about your thought process on the 200 simple moving average, 1 minute, 5 minute time frame. I think you did a good job of illustrating that on the charts, Joe. I think what you said made sense, and yeah, I just used that 1 minute, 5 minute time frame on the 200 simple moving average on the 1 minute and 5 minute time frame. I just used, you know, that moving average to figure out, like, are we bullish or bearish? Because like when price action is like trading sideways and I don't know if we're bullish or bearish, I got to go into the 1 minute time frame to kind of figure out, is price above it or is price below it? And like, here we are looking at the 1 minute time frame for Solana, right? We're just using Solana as an example. Looks like we bottom out, obviously. We bottom out here on Saturday at like, looks like we bottom out at Saturday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At least 4 o'clock my time, East Coast time. And we were below, you know, all the moving averages obviously here. And then we got above that 200 moving average around like 5:23, 5:25 in the afternoon yesterday. So, I mean, had you bought there on Solana, you would have been riding the price up and down, obviously, but you were above the 200 moving average. And, you know, that identifies that, yeah, you can be bullish. You can be bullish. But like you were saying in your video, like the thing does dance around the moving averages. And it was doing some dancing around. It danced around. It got, you know, on the 200 moving average here on 9 o'clock last night. Okay. But it got respected and defended, and it got supported, and we bounced off of it, and we continue going higher and higher to the right. Okay. Now, I remember I was listening to Porky, and I read in Porky's Discord that he was having a little bit trouble figuring out, you know, what was going on with the markets yesterday. And I can understand why it was a little bit tricky, because we were going up, going down, but we weren't really going up or down in a significant way. But if you stick to the fundamentals here on just using the 200 moving average, which is this red line. I know I got a bunch of moving averages here, but that red line is a 200 moving average. If you just stick to the fundamentals of just going back to the 1 minute time frame and just looking at where the price is in relation to the 200 moving average, you could have identified that you should have bought, in this case, Solana at like 5:30 in the afternoon yesterday, and you would have had a winning trade on the 1 minute time frame, and you would have still been in that winning trade up until it looks like we came below the 200 moving average at 3 o'clock in the morning here on Sunday. And that makes sense. I mean, to me that makes sense because a lot of people are sleeping. There's not that many people buying or selling, and you know, we had a little bit of an impulse move here, which then got rejected. And yeah, then we came below the 200 moving average. And had you just stuck to the fundamentals of just buying Solana on the 1 minute time frame when the price is above the 200 moving average, you would have been in the winning trade all throughout last night going into this morning, and then you would have stopped out, or you would have put your stop below the 200 moving average. Now, when you do this, you have to continue raising your stop loss and put it like above the 200 moving average. But if you put your stop loss right here after watching the price continue going up and up and up, you would have got stopped out and you would have had a winning trade just using the 1 minute time frame and the 200 moving average. So I still think it's a winning strategy. It's a simple strategy. It shouldn't be your only strategy, but it's a way to figure out, you know, when you're confused about whether you should be bullish or bearish. I just go right back to the fundamentals of like, are we above the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame, or are we below it? And if we're below it, we should consider being bearish. And in this case, you could have done a close in reverse, right? You could have been like, all right, we're below the 200 moving average. I'm going to close my long, and I'm going to now go immediately into a short. And your short would have played out, you know, as you continue being below the 200 moving average. And then if you put your stop loss right above the 200 moving average, right, you would have got stopped out on your short right here. You would have made like a little small scalp, you know, in between. Like, it looks like you would have started at 146 bucks and you would have got closed out at 145 bucks. But, you know, depending upon what kind of leverage you're using, that could have been a good amount of money right there, right? Let me just measure that out here real quick. You know, try to figure out what kind of percentage gain. So if you just, you know, if you entered the short right here and you got closed out right over here when we got above the 200 moving average again, you would have like a 0.72% percentage gain. And if you did that with 20x leverage, you would have like almost like a 15-20% gain on your investment. You know, if you made it like a 50x leverage, you could have had like maybe 45 or 50% on your you know, on your short there with Solana, just using the moving averages, right? Because you would have been like, I'm going to open up here my short, You would have wrote it down, and then you would have got stopped out right here at 145 bucks. So, yeah, I like using the moving averages on the smaller time frames, especially when I'm day trading, to figure out, are we bullish or are we bearish? Are we above the moving? Are we above the 200? Or are we below the 200 moving average? As simple as it might be, it still works. So, I think you did a good job explaining that to your viewers and your streamers trade intuition, and I hope I did a relatively good job explaining it to my guys here on my stream. But that's one way to trade. Yeah. It's not the only way to trade, and I wouldn't say it's the best way to trade, but it is a pretty it's one way to trade. And you can still make money using moving averages. Yeah. Jesus is saying nobody buying, all will short soon liquidated. I'm not sure why you got that strong opinion about that. You can never deal with absolutes. You can never say it's going down, the whales aren't buying. You can never say things like that, because you just don't know. The market is too big for you to know one way or the other. We deal with probabilities. We don't deal with absolutes here when it comes to trading. All right, but yeah, just looking at the moving averages here, you can still be bullish on Solana, because on the 1 minute time frame, the 200 moving average is below us. Price is above the 200 moving average, so you can still be bullish on Solana until we get below that 1 minute 200 moving average. Right now, that 200 moving average is sitting at $151, so you're about $1 off. If we go below that, it could be the beginning of a downtrend. It could be the beginning of a downdraft in the price of Solana here. Jim is saying he's old-fashioned. You like the 365 EMA and the 180 simple moving average to determine macro trends. Yeah, so the moving average is great. I like using the moving averages on the smaller time frames. I use it a lot, actually. Just sticking with the fundamentals that I just explained in the last few minutes here. But I also like using the moving averages on the higher time frames, like the daily time frame, just to figure out like where we are and where there might be some resistance, where there might be a take profit. Like right now, on the daily time frame for Solana, the 200 moving average is at 173 bucks. That could be a good time to start selling a Solana. That could be the end of, if we're getting if we're gonna continue going up to higher prices here, that could be the end of the rally that we'll get with Solana. Until Solana is gonna have to then figure out, are we gonna turn this 200-day moving average from resistance into support, and then we could bounce off of it and go to higher prices after that. I use the moving averages as well when I'm on the daily and higher time frames as well, just to figure out when's a good time to buy or sell, and when the trend might be coming to an end, to be honest. That also helps we figure out if we're gonna get support or resistance. Haven Peck is saying thank you for back testing Solana for us. And Trade Intuition says the only chop you like are pork chops. Yeah, me too. Porky just doesn't like the chop unless it's pork chops. Let's see. Jim is saying, has anyone tried the new Total 3 chart excluding stablecoins? Looks interesting. Oh, let's take a look at Total 3 since you mentioned it. And Jesus, you made a request for Avalanche and GameFi. All right, we'll take a look at Avalanche. But let's look at the Total 3 real quick here, because Jim, I also pay attention to Total 3 as well. So Total 3, for those who are new to cryptocurrencies, this is the total market cap of all the altcoins. excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is we're not counting Bitcoin and Ethereum. All the money in cryptocurrency, or all the money in altcoin world, is right now currently sitting at $837 billion. We're up $7 billion today, about 1% almost. And looking at the daily time frame here for total market cap 3, you can see that we had a really good altcoin season last year in December. We saw about $1.16 trillion in altcoin world, excluding Ethereum as well. Okay. And we had another top here when Donald Trump got inaugurated. Looks like we got as high as 1.13 trillion. So technically that was a lower high and almost a double top, and that's what sent us to lower prices here on the altcoin world, unfortunately. And we came below the 200 moving average, which we already spoke about, right? And in my opinion, anytime an asset or an index or whatever you're looking at is below the 200 moving average, that to me is a bear market. So we'll say that the bear market here started for altcoins in March of 2025 here. And we didn't flip bullish again until we got above that 200 moving average here on May 9th. But look at this. Now we're dancing around with the 200 moving average. So we're not sure. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? You know, everybody keeps asking, are we in altcoin season? Is altcoin season starting? I can't really say altcoin season is going to start until we get above the 200 moving average. Now, there's other things I look at as well. I look at the Bitcoin dominance to also figure out if altcoin season is starting. But, you know, I cannot say altcoin season starting just looking at total market cap until we get above the 200 moving average. That red line. Red line is sitting at 892. We need some more money in altcoins for us to consider ourselves to be in a an altcoin season here. But already I'm just identifying on the chart here, I see the potential of a double bottom here. So let's measure that out real quick here, right? You got your left butt cheek and your right butt cheek here. You got your two double bottoms. And and you just measure, you know, from the double bottom right here to the top in between the two bottoms. You take that measure move, you put it on top of the top in between the two bottoms, and it's saying that we could see a measure move that takes us up to about $982 billion. Now, this doesn't tell us when that's going to happen, but it tells us that it could happen later on in the future here. We could see about $980 billion get into the altcoin space right here. And that would be nice, because that would put you pretty much where you were at back here in January, when we saw about like 900 billion, almost $1 trillion in altcoin world. So I think that's a possibility here. We've already been at those high prices already. So I'm not sure what you want me to look at, Jim, with altcoins and total market cap 3, but that's my take on total market cap right now. I think it's steady as she goes. You are making higher lows here. A little bit worrying sign is you are kind of making lower highs. So that's creating a little bit of confusion. I can understand why some people might be confused about altcoins, but I mean, as long as you're making higher lows here, you will eventually retest the high here back on May 23rd and also May 12th here. And yeah, we should see higher prices if we continue making higher lows here on the altcoin total market cap 3 here. Jim is saying the stablecoin narrative this year is giving you major flashbacks to 2020, liquidity pressure building. That would be nice, because if that's the case, then that probably means we're going to see a lot more money come into cryptocurrency world. Classic Pickles asking about send. Okay, is that a request? I think that is a request. Alright, let's go ahead and look at Avalanche, and then I'll try to look at send. Excuse me. Looking at Avalanche, currently trading at $19.11, and man, I mean, Avalanche needs to get its act together here. We were looking pretty nice with Avalanche. We had a double bottom here in March and April here, all right, which was supposed to set us to higher prices, and it did. We made some higher lows here, and we were making higher highs. We got rejected off the 100-day moving average, and that 100-day moving average has been acting as a bully here and rejecting us every time we get up to that 100-day moving average. But now we're making lower highs here, understandably confusing investors as to whether we are bullish or bearish here. But I also, once again, I see another double bottom being formed right here on the daily time frame here. And could that send us to higher prices? Possibly. But Avalanche is now below all the moving averages here. So the moving averages are going to act as resistance. Significant one right now would be the 50-day moving average sitting at $20. That's going to be your first resistance level. Then you got the 100-day moving average sitting at $23. And then you got the 200-day sitting at $28. So there's going to be some resistance as this thing tries to climb the higher prices here. But I want to see Avalanche flip the moving averages from resistance into support. Because when you do that, then you're actually in a bull trend, right? Like kind of back here in November of 2024, when we actually did get above the 200-day moving average. We didn't really use the 200 as support, but we were using the 21 EMA as support. Every time we got above this, every time we got up to the white line, we would then try to go up to higher prices, trade sideways for a little bit, and then go up to higher prices again. And then when you lost that 21 EMA, that's when things became sour and we came down to lower prices here around Avalanche. But just game planning trades and swing trades here around Avalanche. You know, you could buy right now Avalanche at the price you're at right now and put a stop loss right below it at like 18 bucks maybe, and keep it nice and tight on your stop loss. If you want a looser stop loss, maybe you put it below the lows here on April, where we saw Avalanche as low as $14.65. So you maybe put a stop loss at $14.30 maybe. Because if Avalanche goes down to $14 and continues going below that, there might be something wrong with Avalanche, and you probably don't want to stick around for that. So I would probably put my loose stop loss at $14.30. But if you want to keep it tighter, I'd probably put it right below the lows for this month of June. You know, we saw Avalanche as low as $18.43. I'd probably put the stop loss right at 18 bucks. And you won't have to lose that much money. And, you know, if it does come down there, there might still be something wrong with Avalanche, but you don't have to lose that much money. And then just game planning Avalanche now. I would just probably target that 200 moving average at 28 bucks for now if you're using moving averages on Avalanche. So that's Avalanche upside, downside targets. Let's take a look at Sen. Solana backed AI. Okay. On Polynex. Okay. So we're at Sen right now, currently at a little bit above a penny, 0.012 pennies here. And man, I don't know, is there a better chart for this thing? Because this thing looks very weird in my opinion. Got like sideways trading action, not much liquidity. Let's try this again. Let's see. Send on Mexi. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better there. We've got some liquidity going on here. Is this still the same cryptocurrency? No, that's a Sui Lend. Yeah, what is this? Send USD. Is it Sui Lend? Is that the name of this crypto? said it's a Solana cryptocurrency. Let me look at coin market cap real quick. See what this thing has to say. Send Suiland. Okay. But you said this is like a Solana backed cryptocurrency. I gotta do some research on this because I want to make sure I got the right one here. So this says Suiland has become a cornerstone of DeFi on Sui. So are you talking about Sui or Solana? Because you said the one that you wanted was a Solana coin. Send. Alright, let's see. $sign send. This is with a market cap of $14,000. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to analyze that. 24-hour volume, only $700. Yeah, this is what? This is probably gonna tell me to look at Deck Screener. Dude, what the hell is this? What are you trying to make me analyze here? This thing came on some cryptocurrency exchange on May of 2025 here. Look at this. What is there for me to analyze? This thing is dead. It's a dead coin. Let's see what the about section says here. Send it to the moon. So it's a meme coin. This has got to be a meme coin. And yeah, there's not much I can do with that. I'd rather be in Send USD Suiland. I could probably analyze this, and this looks like it might have some potential here, but Suiland, it looks like it's also it's having a hard time here. Looks like it bottomed out on April 7th. Like a lot of other cryptocurrencies and assets in the world. But yeah, I don't know much about Suiland. Let me take a look at this on coin market cap here. Suiland. What is Suiland? Says, since its launch in March, Suiland has become the cornerstone of DeFi on Sui, spanning with the Sui DeFi lending, swaps, and AMAs to build the ultimate DeFi super app. So this thing could have potential if it's doing like decentralized finance here. If it's able to make money, it'll probably stick around for a while as long as it's able to make money. And let's see, Jim is saying, if you like Avalanche long term, the staking is as high as 8 to 9% on some validators. Wow. Bubble, and then Haven Pack saying, Bubble Mats, please. BMT is the ticker. It's on Solana. You want me to look at crypto bubbles? Is that what you're asking me to look at? Let's take a look at crypto bubbles. Look at the crypto bubble chart. I think Haven Pack made that request. And we'll look at the bubbles for today. Almost everything is kind of in the green right now, with some of the standouts being looks like Jitto is at 14%. You got Farcoin up 6%, Bitcoin Cash up 9%, Sui's up 5.7%, and AB is up 6%. And you mentioned oh, Bubble Maps has a coin. Is that the ticker is BMT, and it's on Solana. All right. Let's take a look at what is it? BMT, right? So I hope I got the right one here for you. BMT at 12 cents. Does that sound about right? And we got 1.93% We're up 1.93%, and this thing is what? This thing looks like it started trading on Binance March of this year. And wow, very violent, brutal sell-off. We created a lower high here on May. We had a kind of like a little bit of a altcoin frenzy back in May. So that makes sense, but this thing is now making another lower high, and I mean, you can't get bullish on these cryptos or any asset until you start making higher highs and higher lows here. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame, see if I got some moving averages. Yep, I got some moving averages showing up now. So BMT, it looks like we got to get above the highs right here. I'm not sure. I'm gonna discount this. I'm just gonna pretend like this candle wick didn't even happen here. But I want to see us get above here. Okay, 17 cents. Get above that, and you're starting to make higher highs, and you can start to be more bullish on this asset here. You got a long way to go. You got to go up what? How much more percentage do you have to go? You have to go up to 41% just to. You got to go up 41% just to create a higher high here. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and turn on the oscillators now. Here, let's see. Our RSI on the 4-hour time frame. It's almost overbought. MACD. Buying pressure was coming in yesterday, but now it's starting to die off a little bit. And stochastic RSI. Stochastic RSI is a little bit high right now. Would be better if it was low, but you get what you get. Alright, BMT. So just looking at the moving averages, it is nice to see that this thing is above most of its moving averages, so maybe this could be the start of a bull trend for this asset here. But I think you're contending against some of the prices here. It looks like Saturday when you were at like 13 cents roughly. You got to get above this level here at 13 cents to continue being bullish here. If you get rejected, then this could end up being just a double top, and then you're definitely probably going to come down. You'll probably come down to moving averages. The moving averages might act as support as you try to basically start an uptrend on this asset here. Let's see. Yeah, this is very weird. These candle wicks are just throwing me off here, but you could identify this as like a higher low compared to the low here back on May 30th. So you are making higher lows, and you just want to see this thing make higher highs here. And if you do, let's do a Fibonacci analysis here, measuring from the top here, 13 cents, down to the bottom here at 7 cents. And wow, look at this. The 1618 saying 17 cents is a upside price target. So, like I was saying earlier, get up to 17 cents. I think 17 cents should be your sell side target. It should be your take profit target in the long term for this asset. You got the 1618 saying that 17 cents should be sold, and then also just looking at previous price action. You know, the last significant high was at 17 cents. So I would click the sell button when this thing gets up to 17 cents, in my opinion. All right, okay. Jim thinks I'm gonna be on my way to a partnership. Yeah, I just don't know who's going to be. I've actually had some people reach out to me, some companies reach out to me on TikTok. Still in the works on that, but we'll see what they decide to do. Some people have been asking me how much I would charge to do a TikTok video for them. So we'll see. All right. Mario's asking me about TARS AI. Alright, we'll take a look at TARS AI and let me see. We talked about Send already. So I guess the next one's going to be TARS AI. Alright, let's take a look at TARS AI. Appreciate the request. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Alright, let's look at the daily time frame for TARS AI. TARS AI is currently trading at 10 cents right now, up 2.71% today. And you obviously identify that you bottomed out here in April. And you're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. That's good to see. And you made a higher high. The last significant, last notable high here was at 16.5 cents on May 27th. That's the high water mark that you need to get back to continue being bullish on this asset here. But I don't see any problems so far. This could be the next higher low here that we just formed on Friday the 13th here at 9 cents roughly. RSI 45. Okay, just looking at the oscillators now. You're in neutral territory. And MACD, let's see, MACD. Selling pressure was dying off, but look at this. Selling pressure then came back in again. So, you know, you can't rely on one indicator, guys. My TikTok just went down. Probably because I just looked at a meme coin that I probably shouldn't have looked at. And my TikTok got taken down. That's why I don't like looking at any of these TikToks. I mean, TikTok is very strict when it comes to meme coins. And I just lost my live stream here. And it's saying that, oh, I can't go live again on TikTok until June 18th. Yay. Whatever. TikTok, you suck. Do I agree with this decision? No. But all right, so I can't stream on TikTok till June 18th. All right, that's it for that. Anyways, yeah, I feel bad because the guy that requested TARS AI was a TikTok guy, and now TikTok just took me down. They took me off probably because I was looking at that stupid meme coin that only had like $14,000 in it. Yeah, TikTok does that. They're very, very strict. They're very, very strict on meme coins. Anytime I have to use something that involves deck screener, TikTok flags it as fraud and scams, and I'm not able to talk about. Yeah, see. So, anyways. I just lost that. Anyways, let's try to finish analyzing TARS AI right now. Hey, you know, that's why I got YouTube. Hey, TikTok wants to take me down, I got YouTube. YouTube wants to take me down, I got TikTok. I go back and forth. Maybe I'll start live streaming on Twitter as well. Anyways, looking at TARS AI, higher lows, higher highs. The next higher high that we want to see is about 16.5 cents here. That might come into play because the 200-day moving average should act as resistance as well. Right now, the 200-day moving average is sitting at like 17.178 pennies. By the time price comes up and this thing is continuing going down, we might actually intersect at that 16.5 cent line here. So I would probably target 16.5 cents right now. Just highlight that for TARS AI. 16.5 cents is going to be your take profit target. That's about a 60% move from where you are right now, just using some mental math right now. I think Tars AI. Oh shit! I just got rid of the wrong line. I want to get rid of this one. Okay. But I think Tars AI is primed and ready to go to higher prices as long as Bitcoin allows it to do it. I think we should finish the stream. We'll look at Ethereum and then we'll finish off on Bitcoin. I am in a trade on Ethereum. I went long on a leverage long on Ethereum last night when I saw it, you know, above the 200 moving average on the 1 minute and 5 minute time frame. And yeah, let's see. I think Ethereum is pretty much trading at the same price that it was last night. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame here for Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum has just been trading sideways ever since like the violent move down on Thursday night when Israel attacked Iran. We came up and we're just ping-ponging back and forth, trading sideways here. Let's see, 1 hour time frame, 1 hour time frame. Yeah, looks like the lows came in earlier this morning at 25.09 on Ethereum, which is still a higher low than it was on Saturday afternoon at 24.90. So you are making higher lows. Now we just want to get above. Basically, we want to get above like right over here at 25.56. This is acting as resistance right now. But we did get above the highs here on this last night or early this morning at like 1 o'clock in the morning East Coast time here. We saw Ethereum as high as 25.53, 25.53. It looks like last hour we got as high as 25.59. So we are making higher highs on the 1 hour time frame for Ethereum. So that's good. That's good to see. Looks like we have resistance at the 200-day moving average sitting at 26.11, 26.07 from the 50-day moving average. So that's probably when I would actually start taking profit on my leverage long if we can get up to those prices here for Ethereum. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. I think the moving average is almost the same. 200 moving average sitting at 25.77 and the 100-day is sitting at 25.90. So I think 2600 is probably going to be a good time to take some profits if you're day trading Ethereum like myself, which is only about 50 bucks away. Ethereum is looking fine, you know, at least on the 4 hour time frame. After we made that initial move down, after we had that sell-off on Thursday and Friday, the selling pressure is starting to die down on the 4 hour time frame. You're about to get a MACD flip. It looks like I can see a little bit of a green candle here already on the 4 hour MACD right now. And then stochastic RSI is high, but it can stay high. It could actually even go a little bit higher. I mean, we've seen stochastic RSI get up to like 90s. Yeah, 100. Right now, stochastic RSI is at 81. So I think Ethereum has some room to go up to the upside here, as long as nothing crazy happens around the world. From what we already been going through, if we could just tone it down on the craziness for a little bit, we could probably see Ethereum go up to like 2,600 bucks here. Well, let's look at the daily time frame. Ethereum is just, as some would say, this is a bull flag, but I mean, how long will this bull flag extend out to until we have to make a decision? Are we going up or down on Ethereum? The 200-day moving average is sitting at 26.42. I would like to see Ethereum get up to like 26, you know, 37, 26.42. Start using that 200-day moving average as support rather than resistance here. So yeah, we're still dancing around that 200 moving average. We haven't treated it as support yet. And so once we do, then we can talk about Ethereum going up to like $3,000 or even $4,000 Ethereum. I don't think I even gave the downside targets on Ethereum. I'll quickly do a fib analysis here. I mean, I could see Ethereum coming down to $2,000 if it wants to be bearish like that. But we'll measure from like the $1,800 level here to the last level here. So a 786 retracement could bring us down to $2,000 Ethereum, which is, I believe, sitting like where the 50-day moving average is sitting at. No, it's actually a little higher than that. 50-day moving average is at $2,100. So I think anywhere between $2,000 and $2,100, still a possible downside target on Ethereum. More likely, we get that 0.618 at $2,200 for a not so steep retracement. And then we also have the 100-day sitting at 23.29. This looks pretty confluent right now. I think that might be where Ethereum goes down. If it does go down, we might see $2,300 Ethereum. You got the 0.5 retracement saying that, you know, 23.36 could be coming into play. And then you got the 100-day sitting there as well. So whether you're a Fibonacci trader or a moving average trader, or if you take all of it into consideration like I do, I think $2,300 is your downside target for Ethereum. 23.31 in that area should be your downside target if Ethereum becomes bearish for any reason here. All right, let's move on back to Bitcoin. See what Bitcoin's doing, and I think I'm going to end the stream on that. Let's see. Trade Intuition saying that your views on TikTok are horrible. About a year or two ago, you did a video on a meme, and the video got flagged, disputed. Then all the videos went flatline after that. Only about 5 views. It's not even worth posting. Jesus. I think you should give it another go, though, Trade. Don't get discouraged. I think you know, you hit a rough patch, but I think TikTok will give you another chance if you give them a chance. That's why, like, you know, I'm a little bit mad at TikTok for taking me down, and I even had a slight suspicion that if I talked about that meme coin, that TikTok was gonna probably give me some trouble. And yeah, they did give me trouble, but I'll be back on it, live streaming again and doing more videos. I can still do videos. I'm just not able to live stream because of that. So I can still do videos on TikTok. I just won't be able to do live stream until the 18th of June, which is what? Wednesday? Fed Day? Get the Federal Reserve coming up on Wednesday. That should probably affect the markets. We'll see how what the Fed decides to do on Wednesday. But going back to talking about Bitcoin here, Bitcoin currently $105,600. I don't remember. Is that higher than the price when I first started streaming? Let's go into the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. Did we get some green candles here? Yeah, we did get some green candles, but we're getting a red candle right now for the 1 hour time frame here. Looks like Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame creating higher lows here. You got the same high. You could say that this is an ascending triangle for the chart pattern guys out there. I want to see Bitcoin get above 106,264. That's the last significant high. I mean, this is also a significant high as well, but it's actually a lower high than what it was here. Okay, so Bitcoin kind of playing games right now. For my day trading guys, let's go into the 1 minute time frame. Let's see what are we above that 200 moving average on the 1 minute, or are we below it? 1 minute time frame, we are below it. Okay, we're kind of playing games right now on the 1 minute time frame, so I can understand why someone might be confused as to whether to be bullish or bearish, because right now you should be bearish, but like for how long though, right? Because if we get above this 200 moving average, this red line here, then we can be bullish again. Let's take a look at the 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame says that we can still be bullish on Bitcoin because we're above the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame, 105,448. If you go below that, then you can start considering being bearish on Bitcoin if you're day trading this. Yeah. We are making lower highs. I don't know if I like that. A 5-minute time frame showing lower highs here. I don't know. But I think we should probably zoom out to get some more a better perspective on things here. Looking at the daily time frame. A slight indecision candle after having a bearish engulfing candle on Saturday. The market is just trying to figure out, are we bullish or are we bearish on Bitcoin here. MACD on the daily time frame, you got the red candles here. Would be nice to see some pink candles to show us that the selling pressure is dying down, but we still have some sellers who are selling Bitcoin at $105,000 Bitcoin. But you know what, guys? Let's go in the weekly time frame because we're still getting some pretty high candle closes on the weekly time frame here. If Bitcoin stays at like $105,000, like it's doing right now, that's just another weekly candle above $100,000. Right? We had back here on May 5th, we finally closed above $100,000 after having a few bad weeks here in January and February. But yeah, we closed at 104,137, and then we were making higher candle closes on the weekly time frame all the way through May. The last week of May, we actually had our first down week, our first red week, but we still closed at 105,697. Then last week we got to close above that 105,697. It looks like we're on the fence. Are we gonna close below this bearish engulfing candle? I want to see some green here. I want to see some green on the weekly time frame, but we are getting an indecision candle here. We have a lot of price action to the upside with the candle wick high, and a lot of price action to the downside with the candle wick low, and the body is small, almost as if like the Bitcoin hasn't really done anything. And if you look at it, after all the craziness that we had this week, we're only down $240 on Bitcoin throughout the entire week of this past week that we had. So crazy, right? But I don't like the fact that the MACD is showing the buying pressure is dying down. That is not how you continue being bullish here. You want to see solid green candles here. Okay? When that buying pressure dies down, that could lead towards lower prices. And do we really want to see lower prices here on Bitcoin? I know the altcoin guys don't, because I don't think the altcoins can handle it if we continue going down on Bitcoin and altcoins all over again. But I mean, interestingly enough, back here in like 2023, we did have buying pressure die down and then pick up again. We didn't get a MACD flip. We got more buying pressure going into February of 2024, March of 2024. And you could thank the Bitcoin ETF for kind of saving the day here back in the end of 2023 going into 2024, because it looked like this buying pressure was dying down, and then it picked up again in January of 2024, and that was because of the Bitcoin ETF. Now we're getting buying pressure coming down right now, and it makes sense because usually the summer is not usually a good time for any asset, in my opinion. Even stocks have a hard time going up during the summer. But if we get like a Solana ETF and an XRP ETF, maybe this causes buying pressure to increase again. And we could still fix this. Like, we still got 5 more hours left to bid up the price of Bitcoin to get this into a solid green candle on the MACD. And then this could just be a fluke here. And we could just go up to higher prices. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I want to, like, pray and hope for things to go up. Right now, the charts are showing that things might be calming down here on Bitcoin and crypto for now, as we go into the summer low. And I was listening to Road Dogg yesterday, or maybe it was another crypto YouTuber, but he was saying that maybe the sell in May guys are right again. And, you know, May was a good time to sell and get out at those relatively high prices here for Bitcoin and crypto. Because right now we're painting the picture that it's going to be a lackluster summer if this buying pressure continues dying down here. We can only hope and pray that we get sideways price action throughout the rest of the summer. And if we do that, that's just going to create a new base for Bitcoin at $100,000, and then we can launch up and go to higher prices later on this year, going into next year. But yeah, it's looking like things are calming down here on Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, after all that craziness in the markets, Bitcoin's only down $200, $240 for the week. And Joe's saying that you love Road Dogg. Love all his characters on the stream. Yeah, he's a really interesting, fun guy to watch. Let me just throw him up on here real quick. Guys, another interesting crypto YouTuber here is Road Dogg Crypto. You guys gotta check him out. He didn't come onto the stream, but I'm still giving him a shout out because he has some really great music, very interesting live streams here. I love his thumbnails on his videos. Very, very interesting stuff. And he's been in the cryptocurrency world for a while. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to trade. He's got some pretty girls here. If you guys like the eye candy. And he's got a good amount of following as well. He's done a lot of videos as well. So might want to give him a look. Check out Road Dogg Crypto here. But we're gonna end the live stream on that, guys. Bitcoin at $105,511. And I think it's steady as she goes. We'll see what happens. We might get some interesting price action in the next 3 or 4 hours when the futures market comes on. If you're in profitable trades, kind of like myself, you might want to get out before things get a little bit crazy around that time. And then just wait and see where the market settles around like 8 p.m. East Coast time would be probably a good time to start looking at your trades again, seeing if you want to get back into them, or maybe change your bias. Maybe you gotta go from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish on some of your assets here. But I'm expecting some interesting price action when the futures market opens up in the next 4 hours, right, from where we are right now. But guys, be on the lookout for my next live stream. I'll probably do a later live stream tomorrow. I might go live around like 6 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m. East Coast time, and then I'll probably go live for about a couple hours. We'll see what the prices are doing around that time. But yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream. Appreciate you guys coming on to the stream here. And unfortunately, TikTok is being a pain in the butt, but we'll try to get on TikTok as soon as they allow me to go live again. All right. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate it, guys.